Gamers, it's finally here. The first wave of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC has finally dropped, and I'm just gonna say it is just awesome. While we didn't get any brand new tracks, the fact that Nintendo was willing to give us at least something Mario Kart related is fantastic. We have two new cups joining the lineup, that being the Golden Dash Cup and the Lucky Cat Cup. The Golden Dash Cup features Paris Promenade from Mario Kart Tour, Toad Circuit from Mario Kart 7, Choco Mountain from Mario Kart 64, and Coconut Mall from Mario Kart Wii. As for the Lucky Cat Cup, that one features Tokyo Blur and Ninja Hideaway from Mario Kart Tour, Shroom Ridge from Mario Kart DS, and Sky Garden from Mario Kart Super Circuit. As some of you might remember, I made a video about a month ago where I ranked all of the original versions of these DLC tracks from worst to best. Now that the first wave of DLC is finally out, I'm going to remake that list with all of the remakes from this wave. This list will be based on how fun the tracks are, how creative they are, and a few of my personal preferences. So without further ado, let's go! At number 8, we have 3DS Toad Circuit. Is anybody really surprised? I'm still really surprised that Toad of all characters was given a designated circuit course. You race around on a giant track with a big crowd of people cheering you on at the starting line, and you've got some giant Toad balloons that are still really creepy as hell. This track is pretty standard as you'd expect, with some wide turns, speed boosts, and a tunnel you can drive under, although there is a couple of interesting stuff thrown in, such as a ramp near the end that you can trick off of if you have a mushroom, and on the last 2 laps, a ramp opens up for you to glide over the bridge and get a few coins, which is neat. And that's about it. Like I said before, this track isn't bad. It tries to be interesting and simple at the same time, but unfortunately, when compared to the other tracks that were brought back, it just comes off as very simple and lame. At number 7, we have GBA Sky Garden. Now, before I hear anything in the comments, yes, I'm aware of how low I'm putting this track on the list, but just hear me out. This course takes place high in the sky with enormous vines poking out from the clouds. This track is very wavy and features things like giant leaves and mushrooms you can trick off of to get some extra speed. There's also the small section near the end that lets you glide to the end. This course is a huge upgrade from the original. The graphics are better, the waviness has more depth, and the music slaps even harder than before. But here's the thing, as much as I love this track, I do have problems with it. The course feels way too short, and if you compare it to the layout to the original, it's actually been simplified, which is odd. Also, while there are some things thrown in to spice up the track, I feel like more creativity could have been used to make it more interesting like the other GBA tracks. At number 6, we have DS Shroom Ridge. Personally, I think there were better picks to bring back from Mario Kart DS than this, but I can still have fun when racing here. You cruise around on a highway that runs through a mountain. There are a ton of cars driving along with us, so you have to be careful to avoid them or you'll crash. You then head through this dark tunnel and get to the other half of the track, which is on the actual ridge of the mountain. Without many guardrails to keep you on the course, this is another thing you need to watch out for, as well as the cars. Just because this track is lower on the list doesn't mean that it's bad. It's actually pretty fun, and the catchy music in the background helps that a lot. My only issues with the course is that I wish the cars were more of a threat, and the graphics do look a little rough, but those are only small complaints. Overall, a solid track, but just not that memorable. At number 5, we have Tour Tokyo Blur. This is a track that was pretty meh when I played it on mobile, but the version of it they brought back is actually really good. This course takes place in the middle of the city of Tokyo, so there's some Japanese symbols and buildings all around the racers. The first lap is pretty basic with a few sharp turns and a bridge you can go under, but then the second lap has you heading onto this other street with thwomps crashing down on the road, and you can go under this giant red lantern thing. Then, the final lap has you driving through some gates and onto an elevated road with more thwomps trying to crush you, and there's a small gliding section where you fly back to the start on the Rainbow Bridge. It's kind of like Nintendo combined all of the variants of this track from Tour into one thing, which is awesome because each lap has something new going on. My only issue is that the course does feel a bit generic, but it's still a good time. At number 4, we have Tour Paris Promenade. I actually had a pretty hard time figuring out whether this or Tokyo Blur is better, but I decided that I enjoyed this one more. This track takes place in the middle of the city of Paris, so you can expect a lot of Paris-themed buildings and scenery, which looks a lot more interesting than Tokyo. There's a bunch of splitting paths you can take through the city, there's a cool gliding section over a fountain and under the Eiffel Tower, and there's even some obstacles like pipes and a giant piranha plant that bites down at you. But here's the best part. Once you get to the third lap, a new path opens up which turns you around, and then you complete the entire course backwards. This is an ingenious idea because it provides a new fresh spin on the track, and you can even go face to face with incoming traffic, which is neat. This is a track I've slowly grown to like over time, and is probably the most unique city track in Mario Kart. At number 3, we have N64 Choco Mountain. This has always been one of my favorites from Mario Kart 64, so I was really happy to see this course come back in Mario Kart 8. You drive on a long trail carved into a giant mountain. It starts off pretty simple on the edge of the mountain with some Koopa paratroopers cheering you on in the sky, but then you dip down into this cave with blue and white crystals shining in the dark, and bats flying in and out of the cave. You then glide over this busted bridge and onto the final section that has boulders falling from the top, trying to knock you into the water. I also love how there's some fossilized fish stuck on the side of the mountain. That's such a cute detail. Even though it's an old track, this is still really fun. It has just the right amount of difficulty while also having plenty of original stuff to be interesting, and that's why it's so high up on the list. At number 2, we have Wii Coconut Mall. If you've played Mario Kart Wii, then of course you remember this one. It's easily one of the best tracks from that game. You race around in a giant mall in the middle of a sunny day, so you know that there's going to be some frantic action. You've still got the escalators that speed you up or slow you down, you still have those giant plazas with stores surrounding them and fountains in the middle you can trick off of, and you can jump off the top near the end and glide down to the parking lot with cars scattered around. Although, for some reason, they don't drive around like in the original, but that's not a big deal for me. The music is still fantastic and full of energy. Not quite as good as the original, but still slaps so hard. There's not much more to say. It's Coconut Mall. It's extremely fun, fast-paced, and stupidly creative. However, if you've been paying attention, then you know exactly what number 1 is. And at number 1, we have Tour Ninja Hideaway. Out of all the tracks that originated from Mario Kart Tour, this one is definitely the best. It's not quite my favorite, but it's the best. You speed your way through a giant temple that's themed all around ninjas, and my god, there is so much creativity on display. Once again, this is the most visually interesting track of the DLC, and you can see that when racing through the course. You'll get to go through giant dojos with huge ninja stars hitting the ground. You'll then glide next to some tall bamboo and fly into another temple, only to find yourself driving on the roof of part of the temple with air blowing from the top to give you a speed boost, only to then glide back to the start and repeat the process all over again. And the music playing in the background is phenomenal and fits the track perfectly. I don't know what else to say. This track is amazing and easily the best Wave 1 DLC track in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, then make sure to give it a like and subscribe to my channel so you'll know when I post more videos like this and when I rank the other DLC tracks. Also, if you want to see me rank the original versions of these tracks, then you can find that video in the description below. Have a great day, stay safe out there, and I will see you in the next one.